I'm Janice Edwards. Coming up on Signature Silicon Valley, Justin Morrow from the San Jose Earthquakes joins us to talk about the team and why he's passionate about peer courts. Then, if you're wondering how to take your career to the next level, Ruth Sturgio from Invent Your Future Enterprises joins us to talk about charting that course, the upcoming conference, and the controversy about telecommuting. And then Mariana Grossman, the president and executive director of Sustainable Silicon Valley, joins us. That's next. Hi, I'm Janice Edwards. Welcome to Signature Silicon Valley. We have Justin Morrow from the San Jose Earthquakes in the house with us today, starting the show. Welcome, glad to have you here.
Oh, thank you for having me, appreciate it.
Oh, well, we're excited to have you. Everyone in the studio was very excited about it, and thank you for joining us. We're going to talk about something that is really something that you've done a lot with in terms of youth. But before we go there, let's talk, because you are the ripe old age of 25. So, but your youthful dream that started when you were 5 was to play soccer, and that's when this began back in Cleveland. So, what was it about soccer that drew you in at that time?
I don't know. I think I've always had a special talent for it. Like you said, when I was 5 years old, I started playing and just kept on going. You know, I was playing a bunch of different sports, and as I grew older, I felt most comfortable with soccer and most passionate about it.
So how did that lead you from Cleveland to here being with the Earthquakes?
Like I said, just growing up playing. I played in high school, middle school, and then college, which was a big step. And then getting from college to professional, I was drafted in 2010 out to San Jose, and I've enjoyed it out here ever since.
Yes, and we enjoy having you. So how are things each year as you prep? Because we're taping ahead of your starting a lot of the games, but this will air throughout April. So what's the downtime like for you before you prepare for the upcoming season? What do you do?
Yeah, well, it's been a busy off season for me. I was actually down in LA with the U.S. national team preparing for them for the season as well. So that was a big honor to be down there as part of my off season, and then jumping right into preseason with San Jose and getting back with the guys and getting really prepared for the season to come.
And one of the things that you've been doing when you weren't focusing on soccer was focusing on youth. Yeah. So you've been involved with peer courts, and a lot of people don't exactly understand how they work. So could you give us a little 101 on peer courts and why you're involved and why this is something that's really been so important for you?
Yeah, peer court is pretty simple. It's an alternative approach to the traditional judicial system where a juvenile would get charged and then be tried by a traditional judge. And in this case, they have the chance to be tried by their peers, which is made up of kids, high school kids, who are doing this kind of after-school program and really challenging themselves to, learn the judicial system and take it upon themselves to do something good in the community.
And it's wonderful because, of course, studies show that after a certain age, peers are the biggest influence. So then if someone does something, and these are not horrible offenses, this is first time, certain things that come under the review there, and then the peers respond to that. Now, before even getting to the court system, and we are going to have a little bit of video to show you more about how the system works, you went to high schools to recruit students. So who are the students who are good for this program in terms of participating and being those peer counselors who make decisions?
Yeah, my involvement has been recruiting the kids, as you said, and for me, anybody who's passionate about it is good for the program. The kids that are going to show up and really try hard and be involved, be committed every step of the way. That's the most important thing, and it's giving them something good to be involved with after school, keeping them active in their studies, and it's a chance to, like I said, learn the judicial system.
Right, and it seems like whenever you look back, because like I said, you're 25, so it wasn't that long ago that you were in high school, but as you look at kids now and you see some of the challenges, what do you see as being the hardest things for them to overcome so that they can get to a future, whatever their dreams are?
Right. I think becoming successful is all about opportunities, and you know, always taking your opportunities when you get the chance. They'll be there. Sometimes they won't come as often, but if you're prepared all the way along the way, and you'll be ready for it.
Did you have mentors who encouraged you along the way? Who were some of yours?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think my parents were really strong mentors in my life, especially my dad. He kind of came from a tough background, so seeing how successful he was really drove me to be successful as well.
Yes, and I'm sure they're excited about your success now.
Yeah, they're great. They're far away back in Ohio right now, but any chance they get to come out, or you know, just talking on the phone with them every day, they're still a very big part of my life.
Yes, and I know that you have spent a lot of time with the youth, both in peer court and then just talking in the community. When you talk to youth who have had trouble, what do you say to them to encourage them? Because a lot of times, once they've made a mistake, whether it's with their peers or with family, they sometimes feel like, I don't know if I could ever recover from that, or they even feel embarrassed or feel like they shouldn't try for a dream. What do you say to them to encourage them?
And I just stress that it's a fine line between going on a good path and going on a bad path, and just because maybe they've had one mistake in their life doesn't mean that it's over. You know, they can still be what they want to be, and if, like I said, they take their opportunities and prepare for them well and stay on the right track, they know it's good for them.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, inside we all have that monitor, even though we might get off track sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Speaking of staying in tune, and this is more about your regime because I'm just so curious.
Yeah.
Far from athletic background, I mean, I got most improved in PE. Okay, so I'm embarrassed to admit, but I'll tell you all that. But I mean, what is it that you do to just maintain, and what's your regimen like? Are you strict with your eating, or do you let yourself go off the rails every now and then? What do you do?
Yeah, maybe every now and then, but no, I'm pretty strict. I think eating healthy, all the little things, you know, eating healthy, getting enough rest, and preparing, you know, your body physically, you know, staying in the gym after practice and doing yoga. That's something that I've been doing lately, getting used to that. I'm not the most flexible guy, so
the yoga
that stuff is kind of important. That stuff is important as well. So.
And that's interesting. That's kind of both sides of it in terms of that.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to be strong, but you actually still want to be nimble and be able to move around pretty well. So little things like yoga are important.
That's very flexible.
Yeah.
So I know that this has been a dream of yours for a long time. Do you have any other things that you'd like to do? Like some people have secret singing careers. Are there other hidden talents we haven't heard about from Justin Morrow?
No hidden talents. I mean, I'm passionate about staying involved in the community. I did that a lot in high school, and in college I kind of got away from it, and that's a big reason why I wanted to be a part of peer court. I think you know, when you're a public figure, a lot of people come to you, you know, asking you for things to do, but I really took a passion into peer court, and I'm glad I've been able to help out in the community a little bit.
You're right. Well, it's exciting when students have a chance to meet you, and you set a wonderful example as a role model. So, as I said, we are taking a look now at some of what happens at peer court.
Santa Clara County's peer court initially got started by a speech that was made by Supervisor Dave Cortese in, I believe, early 2011. And he challenged Santa Clara County to create a peer court. Now, in other counties and all over the nation, peer courts are also referred to as youth courts. And what that means is that everybody who actually participates in the hearing are all teens, except for the judge, who is the only adult who presides over the case.
Well, I first heard about the program from school, and I thought it sounded really interesting, so I got into it. And I loved it. When the first hearing and everything, it's really about justice and helping other people, you know. Kids who have gotten in trouble are getting a second chance here, and I'm glad to be a part of that.
Number one benefit of peer court is justice, because when someone gets in trouble, say someone goes and vandalizes something, 2 detectives come to their house, they find out this person did it, and they get sent to this court system where a judge who could be having a good day or a bad day tells them, okay, we're going to send you to jail for 40 days and we don't really care about the rest of your life. Or they send them here and they're surrounded by these caring teenagers.
Unlike some normal juvenile system where, you know, you'd have to go to juvenile hall for a couple months or get fined or something, they're actually out doing something. So they're not looking back saying, you know, brooding over what they had done. They're actually out serving others. And of course, serving others is one of the best things you can do to get your mind off of yourself.
I'm here we have a jury of our peers. You know, there's not that, you know, type of intimidation where you just have adults who are dealing with your case, and you have kids who really understand you and know what you're going through.
I know for me, when I went to my courtroom to get my sentence, it was really odd seeing this old man with gray hair and just being there with my parents, but the greatest thing about being with your peers is because they've most likely been through the same thing. If you ask any average high schooler, they've all probably egged someone's house, and if someone comes in here for vandalizing, then they're all going to see, okay, well, we really know why he did this, and if I was in his position, this is what I would want done to me, because they're so in touch with that reality of what's been going on and the kinds of things that they've gone through and that they would have liked done to them.
I personally haven't been convicted of anything or had to go through the peer court system, but I do believe that some of the other youth that come and serve have been. And what's sort of interesting about that is they can talk about the programs that we actually use. So maybe if they have to go to a community service program, or if they have to go to this class to learn the impacts of their actions down the road, they can, you know, say this actually worked for me, or excuse me, worked for me. This is why we're going to do it in the future.
The great thing about peer court is that it's kids from all over the community, from different schools and different backgrounds. So I guess everybody gets a chance to be heard and understood.
So definitely peer court has a lot of lasting impacts, you know, lasting impressions on the people who come through. It has lasting impacts on the people who serve. I'm sure for the judges who come to realize there are young people who do care about the law. And also, a lot of times peer court will bring families closer together. For example, sometimes we've had sanctions, you know, where the children have to eat meals with their families, or where they have to meet with their families regularly. And, you know, that sort of helps to bring the family back together. And, of course, in addition to that, doing that community service, doing that reaching out back to their community, showing they're not the big bad guy anymore, and the peer court has turned them around into being law-abiding citizens.
So, Justin, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for all of the work that you're doing in the community. If you'd like to contact the San Jose Earthquakes, information is on our screen. And if you'd like to reach peer court, details are there as well.